Good morning, welcome to Morning Outlook. This is Kim speaking on Wednesday, the 2nd of June. So the new month starts. We're seeing a bit of movement. Let's just have a look at what we've got coming out today. There's pretty little actually. We've already had the Australian GDP come out at 1.8 versus 1.5, slightly better than expected. That was at 2:30 this morning. At 10 o'clock we got the Reserve Bank of Australia Deputy Governor speaking. And that's pretty much it. It's Italian bank holiday today, if that makes any difference to you. So we're left to our own devices and the technical devices at that. I'm just looking to see what the Reserve Bank of Australia is talking about, due to testify along with Assistant Governor before the Senate Economics Legislation Committee. Okay, that'll be gripping as ever when you mention economics. So that's the news. Let's have a look at the technicals. And well, yesterday it started off with the euro dollar as ever, and a bit of a shooting star it's put in there. It managed to push into the previous bodies there on the dailies, and looking a tad soft where it is at the moment. Got the monthly pivot sitting at below at 121.60ish area. That could just draw price down. It could bounce off that and continue. I've left for now this trend line. I've extended this trend line a little bit across the lows here, but there is also, I'll pop it on for a second. If you use regression lines, there's quite a key regression line running between the highs. Let's just pop that on there. And you can see the recent dip down that just came into the support area of that regression channel. So the average, it sort of just went back into its average yesterday. It could just literally, as I say, pop through into that weekly pivot, find a bit more support off there and bounce. But at the moment, looking on the softer side to start the day at least. On this time frame, it's just come down the time frames and really nothing different showing there. Already hit the weekly pivot there, and well, the daily pivot's already been hit, and it's actually worked off that daily pivot this morning, heading down towards, as I say, those lower pivots that's there, which lay beneath. Bearish engulfing bar into the current bar here as well. So I don't know why I'm sitting on a 15-minute chart here. Let's just make this a 60. That might be better. See a bit more. I thought those pivots looked a bit spread. There you go. So it's back into the weekly, and there's the monthly pivot sitting below. Now, even if it did start selling off, wouldn't expect that necessarily to run all the way down there today, but does look, as I say, currently on the softer side, and we may see a bit of follow through in the next half an hour or so, hour and so. Okay, that's the pound. Pound, euro. Let's have a look at the pound now. Bearish engulfing on the dailies here, with a key reversal bar looking very weak, and again we've got a monthly pivot sitting below, which could be a draw for the price action. If you wanted targets, it had a channel that it was sitting in up through the last week or so. It's well, yesterday saw a breakout of that, but it soon closed back in later on, and looking soft from where it's sitting at the moment. Momentum is really to the downside on the 4 hourlies. Coming down the time frame, you see just very solid movements down earlier in the week there, and it's just really pushing down, maybe a bit of divergence into the current lows, but again, quite a soft looking bar here. It's just sort of suggesting it's an outside bar there again. Bearish engulfing, just looking like it would break that low, could see a continuation. So dollar strength certainly looking through this market, and no difference here either. It's a dollar yen here, dollar making the benefit, making up some more gains this morning on that, and pushing up quite strongly already. Maybe opportunities here to catch a pullback. I was away last couple of days, missed the pullback there, but maybe another one to be coming into play, but still see the potential, of the yen pushing up towards these prior highs and beyond. Actually, I mean, it's 110 here, but I think it's nearly 111. The other highs. Now it's again here on the 60-minute high lows, high highs. Already done a daily pivot. The R1 might be running out of legs quite early on, but we'll see. But at the moment, it's the looks like we've got more upside on that pairing. Aussie dollar, Aussie, well, it just remains pretty choppy here. Come back, I'm looking at it each day, it seems, and it's range bound, and there's no real difference. Filtering it down doesn't really help me too much. It's just one to leave alone for now. Canadian dollar, well, the Canadian dollar yesterday put in yet another new low there. It pitched through the prior low. You can see there's a bit of sort of, well, certainly a bit of divergence sitting across these lows, probably shown, yeah, better on the MACD there. So and again, we got a pivot, a monthly pivot drawing above there, which could just draw this price action. Could see it targeted. Plenty of different sell-offs here that have occurred over this week. Actually, that was a line drawn on there last week, never really went on yesterday. Really sold off down to its weekly S1, dancing around a little bit there. I am still short on this Canadian dollar, but do wonder how long for. Short term here, it's put in a bit of a divergence. I'll see if it tumbles. It's got an untouched daily pivot, which could draw it back down again. Obviously, I'm holding into my long-term short that I'm sitting in there, expecting a little bit more downside, but it is struggling. Running out to the New Zealand dollar, a bit like the Aussie dollar, really, a bit rangy, and well, today at the moment looking pretty soft, and again we could see further downside. It's actually really quite choppy here. So when I look at this and the Aussie, I just tend to look away so often. But the New Zealand dollar does have a little bit more price action, or better price action, clearer price action for day trading. Maybe it's got some scope there, but it's already again done its daily pivot S1 almost down to the S2 there, and I do wonder how much further, if any further, it's got. So, well, that's pretty much the majors there. Let's just have a look at switch across there. That's it. Other markets then. Let's have a look at the S&P. Oops, wrong one. Let's get the futures and just look at the S&P. So yesterday, just toying with well, not far off of the all-time highs again, which are not that far away, of course, in time. Again, bearish candle there. It's popped in there. So seeing a lot of these sort of bearish sort of signs. Of course, one candle doesn't make a long-term trading opportunity often, but we could just see it rolling back. Then again, the monthly pivot sitting below there, lower volumes probably still rolling through from the long weekends that we saw in the US, UK. Weekly pivot still below us there at 41.87, so looking softish. Overall, a bit messy really when you're getting down to the shorter time frames here. Untouched daily pivot above, so there's a bit of a draw either way on that S&Ps, and it, probably best reviewed nearer the cash opening. Looked at gold this morning. Gold's had a pretty decent time again. Bearish key reversal bar sitting at the highs here, and again a monthly pivot sitting below, which could be a draw if we see a breakdown. It's held up pretty well to date, the price of gold. If we see more strength coming through, it would be natural to see if the dollar is truly gaining a bit of strength. It may be just before non-farms. There may be expectations that non-farms are going to come out as they should have last time and really beat expectations, but we'll see. It could just end up slowing down and more consolidation as we lead into Friday. But just looking at this gold, a break of the 4-hourly 50 there would be really signal maybe a bit more of a correction to the downside. That would be it for me into that, and the prior low there. Maybe even being a bit more patient, just waiting for that prior low with a potential, as I say, slightly bigger correction to come. But gold's done so well. It's one of those that you don't really want to go too much against. Talking about not going against, oil, certainly it's pitched up again yesterday, taking out the prior yearly highs here, and it's really looking like it wants to head up further, and may well do so. There's me been sitting here as a bear on oil prices. Eventually I might be right, but at the moment I'm just sitting out of the market and letting it get on with itself. There may be some short-term opportunities to buy on the retracements in this current market. Again, it's got a weekly pivot, a monthly pivot, and probably it's on its daily pivot here. So in its current shape of things, actually it doesn't look like a bad one for this afternoon. If it starts moving, it's got a nice little trend, depends how quick it starts. It's badly drawn trend line across there, but you can see what I'm getting at there. Break of that this afternoon will give me a nice run up towards the prior highs there, the R1. So there is some potential there on the upside. Okay, that's pretty much it across those. Oh, just have a look at the Bitcoin. So what's happening on the old Bitcoin market? And well, it's really just consolidating here. It's drifting south, dropping at slightly lower highs, coming through here, lower lows. So as they're consolidating, it's rather messy and looking really like okay, catching a little bit of bounce this morning, but to me it looks like it could just continue to that downside. There's a bit of oddness in my numbers here at the moment. Other cryptos, Ripple, well, that's doing slightly better. Ethereum also doing slightly better than Bitcoin at the moment. In fact, both of those look slightly better, but not too dissimilar in terms of overall price action. Okay, that's pretty much it for me. I wish you a great day trading, and I'll catch you in the morning. Bye for now.